flash, the roof goes on, and nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong!
On God, I did not expect this to happen. So several months ago, I met this man, Mr. Gigi. This wasn't like a meet and greet or a situation where I like chased him down at like a Target. This was a full planned out day of bullshit. Okay, the majority of the day was fine, but still, I'ma start at the beginning. So 6 years ago, I joined Gigi's Discord, and then I never talked in it. Fast forward, there's a post-Halloween stream Discord call, and I decide to hop in it, cause why not? I then proceed to make this a nightly thing for the next year and a half. Not gonna get into it, but a lot of personal shit was going on, so bear with me. Anyways, it's a nice little community. We started doing game nights, we get drunk together. I learned that being bricked up didn't mean what I thought it meant. I thought it meant like you built like a brick wall. Like I didn't, whatever. I was really active. So after a few months, they decided to make me a mod. Yay! So fast forward again. In July, Gigi hits his first million. And I spent entirely too long making a stupid little gay beat about it. I recorded the process to see how long it would take, and it was 13 hours. And then I showed my mom, who loved it. And then I showed Gigi, who loved it even more.
I love cock. This is childish.
So yeah, I say we're pretty cool.
But a few days after that, I get a message at like 9 p.m. from Gigi, and he's like, hey. And I'm like, hello? You're from Georgia, right? Yeah, why? And then he tells me he's coming down to Atlanta and he wants to know if me and Laura, who's another member, wants to hang out with him. And I'm like, oh shit! Why are you coming to Atlanta? Especially at that time we was having a water crisis. What? And he was like, to visit my favorite Discord members. And I was like, me? Just kidding, had a tattoo appointment. And like, I knew we were cool, especially on Twitch.
Internet, shut up. Internet, shut up. Internet, shut up. Shut up, internet.
Stop, my internet sucks. Stop, dude.
I made that last clip in 2020, but I wasn't expecting us to ever hang out in person. So Laura and I decided to meet up in person for the first time, and we went to Marietta Diner. And apparently there was a Trump rally happening and we got scared. Fun fact, I wrote this script in September 2024, so this was a warning. Yeah, she was really sweet and we had fun. It was a fun time. As the date got closer, the three of us finally decided on a game plan. Friday, we're going bar hopping in East Atlanta Village because there's a strip of bars there. Saturday, we go to Smith's so I can beat his ass in pool. Sunday, he fucking leaves. And the day before the meetup, I made a vow to myself. I'm not gonna get too fucked up. That night could not end with me vomiting or having to be dragged away somewhere or my heels breaking or whatever the fuck. I brought car snacks. I had 2 giant bottles of red Gatorade. I was not gonna get fucked up.
Anyways, the day of the meetup, woo!
I had spent the last 2 weeks watching toddlers, and not like I didn't before, but now I really respect moms, cause them little niggas are crazy. Needless to say, I was excited to leave the house. His appointment is at noon, and we're supposed to meet up at 7 p.m. So I decided to do some last minute shopping. I'm at Ross because I dress for less. When I get a message from Gigi, and he's like, so, don't be mad at me. And I said, damn, this man finna cancel on us. But then he said he's not getting out till about 10 p.m. And I'm like, that's fine. Cutting a little short, but that's fine. Most bars close at like 2:30 and he was like an hour out. So we got time. So 10 o'clock rolls around and it's radio silence. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? And he texts back at 1 in the morning. I'm still sitting here. I'm like, nigga, damn, let me finish it. Got me all excited. I'm sitting on the front porch looking cute and stupid.
Which, let me show you my outfit real quick.
This is what I was wearing on Friday night. This is what I was wearing on Saturday.
And this is what I was wearing again on Saturday night because we didn't fucking go nowhere on Friday. Yeah, he stood us up. It was like that scene from SpongeBob where they were all waiting for Santa Claus to show up. He did apologize because it ended up being a 13-hour tattoo session. And I was like, it's fine, just send me a bottle of Crown and all is forgiven. Which he didn't do. The next day, I start my morning as usual. I make breakfast for my nephews. And at about 1, my phone goes off again. I want brunch. Laura picked out this place called
Patria Cocina.
And what do you know, their brunch ends at 3. It was almost 2, and not only that, the drive was like 40 minutes. So I threw on my outfit and ran. As I was pulling up to the restaurant, I recorded this video, and ignore the stain. I don't know what that is, and I don't know how it got there.
I'm about to meet Gigi. It's just hitting me. I'm about to meet this man.
My dumbass decided to park half a mile away from the restaurant, so I had to walk in the Georgia heat in heels.
But I was finally there.
It wasn't ceremonious or anything. Gigi was just like, yo, and I was like, yo.
I took this really nice picture because Laura told me I was on camera duty, even though I was the only one with an Android.
Side note, this man asked me if the city was good for jeans and boots in August.
He had some really nice shoes that probably cost a car payment and like a quarter of rent. His shirt was really nice, but also it kind of gives Angie's dad from George Lopez.
Is that racist? We get the same dish. I beat their asses in Uno. Afterwards, Gigi's like, so where are we going next? We end up picking this place called Northside Tavern. We were gonna go to Smith's, but it was way farther across town than we thought, and Atlanta traffic is no joke. When we get there, there's like a fucking Ford F-150 blocking the entrance. So we go around and find out there's no parking at all. So we're like, dope, let's just park across the street. And when we get there, there are a bunch of signs that say, we will shoot you fucking dead if you leave your car here, not enter our establishment. So that sucks. In Atlanta, every other parking spot has like a $50 fee, and we couldn't even try to find another place to park because traffic was that bad. I went back a month later to get B-roll, and this was the ETA from the restaurant to Northside. So Laura's like, fine, my sister lives nearby here, we could just drop off my car and Uber to Smith's. And that's what we do. We get there, we meet our dog Raven, we chat a bit, it's nice. I sure hope the Uber isn't weird and uncomfortable.
I never went to Uber driver.
Let me start off by saying I respect rideshare drivers. I used to do Uber Eats and that shit stressed the fuck out of me, so I can't imagine letting strangers in your car. That being said, I hate being the stranger in your car. I don't normally take Ubers. By the way, I think he used Lyft, but I'm gonna call them Ubers. When this Uber driver got there, he popped open every door except for his own. That meant someone had to sit in the front. And I said before, I don't take Ubers, so I took that seat, which apparently is not something you're supposed to do. Something that I wish I had known, because I'm really bad at hiding my face. I'm about to show you a recreation of how awkward this ride was.
Wow, Smith's at 5 p.m. Sounds like the party's getting started already.
Yo, we finna do cocaine. Nah, I'm just kidding. We are going to EAV to bar hop though, I think.
Cool shit, cool shit. God, I miss cocaine. I haven't done it since high school. Yeah, I had to give it up. Can't live that life forever, you know?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I used to drink and party and do all sorts of shit all the time. Was that in high school too, or? No, 7 years ago. But I stopped drinking when I got married.
Aww.
We're getting divorced. So, might have to start drinking again. But yeah, EAV is good for bar hopping. I think the last time I went, it was me, my husband, and my parents.
Ooh, was that like messy or?
Nah, it ended up being fine. Which is crazy since my mom is a raging alcoholic, you know, always drinking. Anyway, so here's your stop.
He parks outside of a Smoothie King, and there's an incline, so when I shut the door, it slammed shut, and in that moment, I noticed that he doesn't have a side view mirror. I swear I meant no disrespect, but I could not stop laughing. I'm hoping that he's thinking that I'm laughing because I accidentally slammed the door, but as I was walking off, I was like, yo, that was the most uncomfortable shit I've ever experienced in my life. And when we sat down at the bar, Gigi turned to me and said, you know, like, he could hear you, right? His window was rolled down. And I said, fuck! I doubt you're watching this Uber driver, but thank you for getting us to our location safely. Please don't relapse. I ordered myself 2 lemon drops and I could not tell you what they ordered. I forgot. We trade stories about other crazy Ubers that we've taken. I try to get Laura to steal his driver's license. It's all chill. But remember, we came to Smith's for a reason. I'm not the best at pool, but I think I'm pretty good. When I went to go get B-roll for this, I went through the wrong door and thought they got rid of all of their pool tables. Dumbass. This was three-way pool, so the goal is to keep your ball on the table. Laura was 1 through 5, Gigi was 6 through 10, and I was 11 through 15. This game had stakes. Loser had to buy the next round of shots, so I was determined to win. That did not happen. And it wasn't even my fucking fault. One, they ganged up on me, which is crazy because Laura, we're supposed to be girls and look out for each other. Remember the Trump rally? Remember that guy that came up to the car and tried to sell us something and scared us both? 2, Gigi went to the bathroom before we started playing just so he could sneak cans of spinach. It's not my fault this nigga hit the ball with the power of Thor's hammer. Every time he went, people ducked like there was a shooting. Happy 100 days of working out, by the way. And finally, I was a little tipsy. Earlier, I put a clip of a guy missing the ball entirely, and I actually did that in the game. I didn't get a lot of footage of this day because I thought it'd be weird to put cameras in everyone's faces, especially since it's that man's job to be in front of one all the time.
I guess you could say I prefer to live in the moment.
Anyway, so here's us leaving the bar. So there was a dilemma. I don't know if y'all remember this, but I left my car back at the restaurant and my outfit is in there, so I gotta go back and get it. So, new plan. We're gonna Uber back to Laura's and then I'm gonna take a separate Uber to my car and then meet them at the hotel. We get back to Laura's and we're just chilling on her steps and talking, and it starts to rain. It's actually really peaceful and nice. A real life calm before the storm. When I get in this man's car, the dude's like,
Are you Mike?
Do I look?
We're driving in silence, and this man looks at me and goes,
I trade gold. I live in Tanzania, and I have a house and a mansion there, and I'm secretly a millionaire.
and I'm like, that's cool. I put some money into Robinhood. And then it turns into a discussion about being black in America, which of course it fucking does. This always happens to me. And then he goes,
By the way, you're really beautiful. I would like to keep in touch with you, you know, beautiful black mind.
and he fully pulls his car over to hand me his phone to put my Instagram into. And I'm like, no! Then he drops me off at my car, and I decide to change there. Unfortunately, there was a security guard there, and he watched me get butt-ass naked. My original plan was to sleep in my car in the Tokyo Valentino parking lot, because I used to work there and I know the security guards. But my lovely mother calls me and says, hey, I got you a hotel for the night with my points. And I said, aw, that's sweet. Where? And guess what? It's the same fucking hotel Gigi's staying at. She told me she got the park and stay so I wouldn't have to pay for parking, and I had to go. So I text Gigi and I'm like, haha, guess who got a hotel where you're at? He called me cringe. I pull up, leave my car at valet, which is something that you're forced to do for some reason, and check in. My room was on the 20th floor and it had a beautiful skyline that I didn't take any good pictures of. I get another message from Gigi like, I hate being sober and not being an alcoholic, so we're at the bar downstairs.
And I'm like, coming!
We're sitting at the bar and only one lady is manning the entire station. I try to take pictures and they all end up looking like shit, but this drunk girl comes by and she's like, do you need me to take your picture? And honestly, Ashley, you killed it. At one point, I'm telling them a story about this older man. I don't remember what the story was, but I meant to say that this man was 30 years older than me, but I end up saying 30 years old. And this lady who was listening to our conversation turns to me and goes, excuse me, but 30 is not old. So my dumbass went, oh no, I meant he was like 40. And she went, I'm 40. I'm not old. Do you think I'm old?
I ain't old! I ain't old!
And leaves. And Gigi's like, I don't know, 40's pretty fucking old. Gigi and Laura both get pizzas, and I'm sick of pizza. I've been watching those two toddlers. So I decide to get the next best thing, chicken tenders.
Crispy chicken, fresh lettuce.
Laura excuses herself to the bathroom, and Gigi's like, alright, pick a shot. And I'm like, no, you pick a shot. Because he bullies me on my alcohol choices. He still does. But hindsight tells me I should have picked the damn shot when I had the chance. Because Laura comes back and orders tequila. More on that later. So we all take the shot and Gigi goes to the bathroom. And then this man comes up to me and Laura and he starts complaining to us about like wedding shit. And he's like, people want 2005 prices, like it's not 2024. And honestly, I'm over niggas being weird at me at this point, so I just ignore him. But more than that, I just felt weird. Anyway, it's time for EAV. Let's go! This time our Uber driver was fucking DJ Spit. He's on speakerphone with this dude the whole time. So it was another car ride without music. Suddenly, a cop car speeds past us. For y'all that don't know, Atlanta got a fucking 18-lane road when you try to get off 85. So when we get to our exit, we can either make a right and go west or make a left and go east. Tell me why that very cop that sped by us earlier is blocking off the east exit to go to East Atlanta. So our Uber driver is fucking pissed and he starts swearing in Spanish before taking the fuck off. We're driving 120 in lanes that don't exist like we in a fucking Hellcat. I start writing messages to Laura on my phone like, oh my god, should I call my mom and tell her that I love her? Like, I was scared, but he got us there. So 5 stars. We get to our first bar of the night. Argosy. Argosy. Usually when I ride in SUVs, I get a bit of motion sickness, and being in the car with fucking Speed Racer earlier did not help, so I immediately go to the bathroom. Gigi also goes to the bathroom, and before I continue with the story, let me tell y'all something real quick. I didn't mention it earlier, but Gigi looked like he was dying the entire day. I knew tattoos could hurt, but I thought it was just like a don't touch it and you'll be fine kind of deal. I didn't know that tattoo flus were a thing. Basically, your body is so tense from being needled that it thinks it's fighting off an infection. So you develop flu-like symptoms. And considering this is the first tattoo he's ever gotten, it's best to say that homie wasn't feeling too well. When we were at that Mexican restaurant earlier, he excused himself to the bathroom to splash water in his face. Hello? But I thought it was because he couldn't handle being around 2 bad bitches. But turns out he was just a little sick. But somehow my body said, let's double it and give it to the next person. And guess who that next bitch in line was? It was me. I get in the stall, I make my little poo-poo, and Laura texts me to say that she got a spot at the bar. I immediately spot the back of Gigi's head when I get out the bathroom and go to sit down next to them. Laura starts teaching us this Mexican card game, and I'm gonna be so honest, bestie, I didn't know there were like other types of cards. Like I didn't know there were different like suits and shit. So I was confused that whole time. I know you tried your best, but I had no idea what was going on. Our bartender comes up, looks at Gigi and says, hey, you kind of look like that one YouTuber. And Gigi's like, that's me. And they're like, dude, I love your content. I'm gonna get you a free shot. Upon hearing the word shot, my stomach immediately starts to rumbling again. So I excuse myself. I must have looked pitiful or something, because when I got to the bathroom, a lady turns to me, she goes, ain't you drunk right now? And I'm like, nah, bitch, I hadn't had a sip of alcohol since I got here. I'm just motion sick. I don't know why I called her a bitch. She was really sweet. Anyways, I get in the stall and it happens. I puke, but I instantly feel better. So I'm like, dope, I did it. So I walk out and sit down next to them and I'm like, hey friends, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just threw up in the bathroom, but I think it's motion sickness. And they're like, yeah, it's motion sickness, yeah. Then suddenly, I feel a tap on my shoulder, and it's this woman, and she's like, hey, there's some toilet paper stuck on your foot, but don't worry, I'm the only one that noticed. And I'm like, bitch, you would have been if you didn't fucking chase me down. I'm not even really mad. I'm just shocked that it happened. I thought that shit only happened in movies. Anyways, the bartender comes back, and they're like, so, couldn't get shots, but I brought fries. And at this point, I'm sweating. When I tell you, the second I smelled those fries, I lurched forward. I ran to the bathroom so fast. Luckily I make it to the toilet, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call it a night. I text Laura and say, hey, I'm gonna get an Uber back because I'm sick as hell. Y'all can enjoy the rest of y'all night. And she's like, no, it's fine. Gigi wants to go home too. Everyone's sick. So I'm sitting on the toilet dying, and Laura walks in with one of the workers, and they bring me a cup of water and a cup of ginger ale. I love women. I put the water behind me on the toilet and the ginger ale on top of the toilet paper holder. And I don't know which god I pissed off or if I was hexed or something, but the ginger ale decided to scoot 4 inches to the left and spill all over me. So now I'm sick, sweating, and covered in gingered ale. I'm gonna be honest, I think this is karma for laughing at the Uber driver earlier. Laura hands me paper towels and a barf bag and tells me that the Uber is here. So I hobble out of the stall and she helps drag me into another fucking SUV. Great! Tell me why this is the first Uber all day that's played music, and it's fucking Pitbull. I'm a little disoriented and sweating profusely, and Gigi's like, don't worry, just listen to Pitbull. So we all start fake partying like it's the best night of our lives. We get back to the hotel and there's this dude doing the fucking Dougie or whatever in the middle of the driveway, and I'm like, nigga, move! I gotta go! Cause remember, my room's on the 20th floor. We're walking back and I'm leaning on Laura, and another really cool thing happens. I look down and my fucking heel breaks. And she's like, oh my god, so many bad things are happening to you tonight. And I said, Laura, at this point, the worst thing that could happen to me is if I died. So we make it to my room, I thank them and close the door and just break down. Not crying, I just shit and threw up a lot. I spent the next 5 hours going from the toilet to the bed to the shower, back to the bed, back to the toilet. I was hot, I was cold. You know that little hee I'm gonna call my mom and tell her I love her. I did that. And she stayed on the phone with me the whole time. I love my mom. But she ended up having to call me on the hotel phone because my phone was at 7%. Because when I ran out the house earlier, I didn't grab my charger. So I spent the rest of the night writhing around on the bed, crying. But the story doesn't end there. The next morning, I wake up at around 9 and text them like, that shit sucked, but I'm alive. And then I go put on the outfit that I've now worn for 3 days in a row. When I check out and get my car, I find out these niggas charged me $55 for parking when they weren't supposed to. So I had to go back up and get that sorted. This is important. When I was walking up the hill back to the hotel, there was a big truck and people rolling out these black boxes. Keep this in mind. I get my ticket refunded and then I sit in my car and let my phone charge because my stomach still kind of hurts and I'm not in the mood to drive through Atlanta traffic. Gigi texts me back saying he got his checkout extended because he still feels like shit. But while I'm sitting in my car, I look to my left and there's just a dude staring at me. I've been sitting in my car for about 30 minutes and he's been there for like 20 of them. I ignore him and keep watching videos on my phone, and that's when I hear a knock on my window and I'm like, oh my god. And I crack the window like, hello?
Hey, I'm not gonna shoot you if you're not gonna shoot me.
Nigga, what? So I text Gigi like, help me, there's a man! And the nigga starts slam poetrying at me like,
you know you a dime, right? The Lord will bless you. You smile. I'm trying to get with you. I'm trying to get you. Let me get with you.
And I'm like,
Michael, don't leave me here. Michael.
And Gigi's like,
where are you?
beside the building with the big lady statue. But luckily the man finally understands body language and that you shouldn't harass people sitting alone in their car, and he's like,
well, have a blessed day, ma'am.
I asked Gigi what time his flight is and he tells me 3:20. It was already noon and that airport has its own zip code, so I'm like, you gotta go. And he's like, I would, but all my fucking Ubers and Lyfts keep canceling. This bitch done circled the block like 4 times. Now this is a dilemma for several reasons. One of them being my car smells like straight gas. Allegedly. Delta-atedly. I had a spray and I did spray it, but the problem is he's gonna get secondhand high and also be breathing in carcinogens. Second reason is that nobody can drive, including me. And third, I didn't want him to see the crater in my fucking car because my neighbor backed into me while I was parked because like I said, niggas can't drive. Anyways, I asked if he needs a ride and he said yeah, and I'm like, cool. So I pull up the road and I see the reason why all the Ubers are canceling. Remember those black boxes? Yeah, it was filming equipment and they closed down the road for filming. I'm already pulled up and I see him standing on the corner, so I wave at him. He looks at me and then looks down at his phone. I look down at mine and there's a message. Is that you in a blue car? And I'm like, that's me. He puts his stuff in the back seat, gets in, and then we go. Actually, no, before we left, he asked me what the difference between the domestic terminal and the international terminal was. And I was like, one is domestic and one is international. But he meant the addresses. I'm stupid. We had a nice conversation. We just talked about the city and other attractions that you shouldn't go to. The zoo sucks. Don't go to the zoo. But I'm like, dude, like, what inspired you to do this? No, but I was like, thanks for coming, but don't come back. Atlanta kinda sucks. But in my head, I'm like, thank God the last time he's seeing me isn't me about to doodle myself. I'm following the GPS, but turns out I put in the international terminal, not the domestic one. So that made our 12-minute trip into a 30-minute trip. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. And he's like, it's all right. Aww. It looked like he wanted to jump out of the car at this point. We keep driving and he spots a Waffle House and is like, ooh, Waffle House. And I'm like, oh, you wanna go? And I swerve the car and he looks at me like I'm fucking crazy. Anyways, I pull up to the airport. He gives me a bro fist and then walks away, never to return again because this trip was so ass. Luckily, I dropped him off in time to navigate through that big ass airport for like an hour, so at least there's that. Fuck! I'm gonna record my face because I'm so tired of editing at this point. So you're just gonna have to look at me. So I thought I had food poisoning. It was not food poisoning. I'm just allergic to tequila. Am I going to test this theory? No, I'm gonna go based off of a previous experience. I went to a party back in 2023. The next day, I threw up for 8 hours. And I was so confused because I was like, I normally can handle my alcohol. I went through my camera roll and this is what I found from that night. This bottle of tequila. Not only that, I went on Reddit. There are posts on Reddit from people saying, I can normally drink anything, but the second I take a shot of tequila, I get so sick. So yeah, I want a redo. I feel like it's not fair. I genuinely hate how that night ended. This is a call to action. I want to do this again, but I want to do it right. It don't even gotta be in Atlanta. I feel like that girl that's trying to sell lip gloss and she's like, gosh, just come on. Whatever. I want to redo. Fuck you.
I